Hello, and welcome to 20 Minutes with Jesus. Take a moment to slow your thoughts. Let your heart settle right where you are. You don't need to rush. You don't need to fix anything right now. This is a moment to be still before God. Let's begin. Waiting becomes especially painful when it lasts longer than expected. At first, hope feels strong. Faith feels alive. The heart believes that answers will come soon. But as time stretches on, something begins to change. Hope quietly weakens. Not because faith disappears, but because endurance grows tired. Waiting does not usually break faith all at once. It wears it down slowly. The heart grows weary from holding expectation for too long. Prayers begin to sound repetitive. Promises feel distant. The excitement that once fueled trust is replaced by quiet discouragement. And eventually, hope feels fragile. Not gone, but tired. This is the danger of prolonged waiting. Not doubt, but exhaustion. Many people lose hope not because they stop believing in God, but because they stop believing anything will change. They continue praying, but without expectation. They continue trusting, but without joy. Waiting becomes survival instead of anticipation. God understands this kind of weariness. He knows how waiting stretches the heart. He knows how delayed answers can make faith feel heavy. And He does not shame the soul for growing tired. Instead, He invites it to learn a deeper kind of hope. One that is not fueled by excitement, but sustained by trust. Hope that depends on timing is fragile. Hope that depends on God is resilient. Waiting without losing hope requires a shift in how waiting is understood. Waiting is not inactivity. It is not punishment. And it is not a sign that God has forgotten. Waiting is often the place where hope is purified. God refines hope in the waiting. He removes hope that depends on outcomes. He strengthens hope that rests in His character. He teaches the heart how to hope quietly, steadily, faithfully. This kind of hope does not rise and fall with circumstances. It does not collapse when progress feels slow. It remains alive even when emotions fluctuate. It becomes a choice rather than a feeling. At the beginning of a new season, waiting can feel especially discouraging. Expectations are high. The desire for movement is strong. And when nothing seems to change, hope is tested. But God does not waste these seasons. He uses them to form a hope that will last. If you are waiting right now, you are not weak. You are being stretched. And stretching is uncomfortable, but it is also necessary for growth. God is teaching your heart how to hold hope without relying on constant reassurance. This kind of hope will carry you through seasons where answers delay and emotions shift. As we continue this episode, allow yourself to acknowledge how waiting has affected your hope. Where has it grown tired? Where has expectation faded? God meets you there, not to pressure you, but to restore hope in a quieter, stronger way. Hope rarely disappears suddenly. Most of the time, it fades quietly during long seasons of waiting. At the beginning, hope feels strong and confident. The heart believes change is coming. Prayers feel expectant. Faith feels energized. But as time passes and nothing seems to move, hope begins to weaken. Not because God has changed, but because the human heart grows tired. Waiting stretches emotional strength. It stretches patience. It stretches trust. It stretches expectation. And when waiting lasts longer than anticipated, hope begins to feel fragile. The heart still believes God is able, but it struggles to believe He will act soon. This tension is where many people begin to lose hope, not because they stop believing in God, but because believing becomes exhausting. Long waiting wears down anticipation. The mind begins to protect itself from disappointment by lowering expectation. Prayers become cautious. Faith becomes quieter. Hope shrinks not out of rebellion, but out of self-preservation. The heart learns to hope less so it can hurt less. God understands this instinct. He knows how repeated delays affect the soul. He knows how unanswered prayers can slowly drain emotional energy. And He does not judge the heart for feeling weary. Instead, He gently invites it to rediscover hope in a deeper, steadier form. Hope that depends on outcomes will always feel unstable. When hope is tied to timelines, it rises and falls with progress. When hope is tied to circumstances, it weakens when things remain unchanged. But God offers a hope that does not depend on visible movement, a hope anchored in who He is, not in how fast things change. This kind of hope does not disappear during waiting. It matures. God often allows waiting to last long enough for shallow hope to be replaced with resilient hope. Shallow hope depends on quick answers. Resilient hope survives delays. It learns to trust God even when excitement fades and faith feels quiet. Waiting also reveals what hope has been resting on. If hope collapses when nothing changes, it reveals how much it relied on progress. God does not expose this to discourage us. He exposes it to strengthen us. He wants hope to rest on His faithfulness, not on immediate results. Long waiting teaches the heart how to hope without constant reassurance. It teaches hope that is steady rather than emotional. Hope that is faithful rather than reactive. Hope that remains even when feelings fluctuate. This kind of hope does not shout, it stays. God knows that without this kind of hope, faith will struggle in seasons of uncertainty. So He uses waiting to build it slowly, patiently, gently. Waiting becomes the training ground for enduring hope. At the beginning of a year or a new season, waiting can feel especially discouraging because expectations are high. We expect movement. We expect clarity. When these do not come, hope feels misplaced. But God is not dismantling hope. He is relocating it. He is moving hope from outcomes to trust. This relocation feels uncomfortable. It feels quieter. It feels less exciting. But it is also safer. Hope rooted in trust does not collapse when answers delay. It remains alive even when the heart feels tired. If you find yourself feeling less hopeful than before, it does not mean your faith is failing. It means your hope is being reshaped. God is teaching your heart how to hope without burning out. Hope does not have to feel strong to be real. It only needs to remain. And as this episode continues, allow yourself to recognize where waiting has worn you down. Where has hope grown tired? Where has expectation faded? God meets you there, not to pressure you, but to rebuild hope in a form that will last. Hope that waits without losing trust. Hope that survives silence. When waiting stretches longer than expected, God does not simply observe from a distance. He actively works to restore hope in ways that are often subtle, quiet, and deeply personal. Hope is not rebuilt through sudden changes or dramatic signs. Most of the time, God restores hope slowly, by reshaping how the heart understands waiting itself. God restores hope by teaching the heart to remain present. Waiting often pulls the heart into the future. Thoughts race ahead, imagining outcomes, delays, and disappointments. This mental drift drains hope because it forces the heart to live in uncertainty before it is necessary. God gently brings the heart back to the present moment, where His presence is experienced daily. Hope grows when the heart learns to live today, not tomorrow. God restores hope by shifting focus from timelines to faithfulness. Instead of asking, "When will this change?" the heart begins to ask, "How can I remain faithful today?" This shift is powerful. It removes the pressure of predicting outcomes and places attention on daily trust. Hope no longer depends on knowing when waiting will end. It depends on knowing that God is faithful right now. God also restores hope by strengthening endurance. Endurance is not dramatic. It is quiet consistency. It is continuing to pray even when enthusiasm fades. Continuing to obey even when motivation is low. Continuing to believe even when emotions fluctuate. God uses endurance to stabilize hope. Instead of burning brightly and burning out, hope becomes steady and reliable. It may feel quieter, but it becomes stronger. Waiting also teaches the heart how to separate hope from feelings. Feelings change daily. Hope rooted in feelings is unstable. God restores hope by anchoring it in truth rather than emotion. Truth reminds the heart that God's character does not shift with circumstances. His faithfulness does not depend on progress. His promises remain secure even when fulfillment feels distant. This kind of hope survives emotional lows. God also restores hope by healing disappointment. Waiting often carries layers of disappointment, prayers that were answered differently, expectations that were unmet, timelines that were disrupted. These disappointments quietly drain hope if they remain unaddressed. God gently brings them to the surface, not to reopen wounds, but to heal them. Healing disappointment restores hope's strength. As disappointment heals, the heart becomes lighter. Hope begins to breathe again, not because everything has changed, but because trust has been restored. God restores hope by reminding the heart that waiting is purposeful. Waiting is not empty time, it is formative time. God uses waiting to align desires, deepen trust, and prepare the heart for what lies ahead. When the heart understands that waiting has purpose, hope no longer feels wasted. It feels invested. This understanding transforms waiting. Waiting becomes participation rather than punishment. Waiting becomes preparation rather than delay. God also restores hope by reminding the heart that it is not waiting alone. Isolation weakens hope. Presence strengthens it. God draws near in waiting seasons, even when answers are delayed. His presence sustains hope when progress feels invisible. The heart learns that it does not need immediate change to remain hopeful. It needs connection. Hope grows strongest in relationship. At the beginning of a new season, restoring hope is essential. New beginnings often come with expectations that are quickly tested by reality. God does not want hope to disappear at the first delay. He wants it to mature so it can endure. If your hope feels tired, God is not disappointed in you. He is working gently to restore it. He is teaching your heart how to hope without pressure, how to trust without timelines, and how to remain faithful without constant reassurance. Hope does not have to feel loud to be alive. It only needs to remain anchored. As this episode continues, allow God to meet you where waiting has worn you down. Let Him restore hope quietly, steadily, and deeply. This hope will not rush ahead of you. It will walk with you, sustaining your faith until waiting gives way to fulfillment. As waiting continues, God does something even more delicate. He teaches the heart how to live without constant emotional reinforcement. In the beginning of faith, hope often feels vibrant, emotional, and expressive. But over time, God invites the heart into a quieter kind of hope, one that does not rely on excitement to survive. This quieter hope is not weaker, it is stronger. God deepens hope by removing its dependence on immediate results. When answers do not come quickly, Hope is forced to choose whether it will remain or retreat. This choice is painful, but it is also where hope becomes resilient. Instead of expecting visible change to validate faith, the heart learns to trust God's character alone. Hope matures when it learns how to stay. Staying in prayer when it feels repetitive. Staying faithful when obedience feels unseen. Staying expectant even when nothing appears to be shifting. God values this kind of hope deeply because it reflects trust rather than demand. It says, "I will remain even if I do not understand." Waiting also exposes how much the heart has attached hope to specific outcomes. Sometimes hope weakens because the heart is clinging tightly to one version of how things should unfold. God gently loosens this grip, not to take hope away, but to expand it. Hope that is too narrow breaks easily. Hope rooted in God remains flexible. As God expands hope, He teaches the heart how to trust His wisdom more than its own expectations. The heart learns that God's plans may look different, but they are never careless. This realization restores hope because it removes the fear that waiting is pointless. God also deepens hope by teaching gratitude in the middle of waiting. Gratitude does not erase longing, but it stabilizes the heart. It anchors hope in what God has already done, rather than what has not yet happened. When gratitude becomes part of waiting, hope feels less fragile. It learns to coexist with delay without collapsing. Waiting with gratitude changes perspective. Instead of seeing only what is missing, the heart begins to see where God is still present. This presence nourishes hope quietly, day by day. God also strengthens hope by teaching the heart how to trust His pace. Rushing weakens hope. Trusting pace strengthens it. When the heart stops racing ahead, it becomes more attentive to God's daily faithfulness. Hope shifts from future fulfillment to present companionship. The heart learns that God is not only waiting at the destination, He is walking in every step of the process. This realization transforms hope. Hope is no longer tied to an ending. It becomes rooted in relationship. God uses waiting to form a hope that is not easily shaken. A hope that does not disappear when timelines change. A hope that remains alive even when emotions fluctuate. This hope carries faith through long seasons without burning out. If your hope feels quieter than it used to be, do not assume it is weaker. It may be deeper. God often trades excitement for endurance, not to diminish faith, but to protect it. Enduring hope does not shout. It stays. And as waiting continues, this hope becomes a steady companion. It walks with you through uncertainty. It supports faith when answers delay. It reminds the heart that God is still good, still present, and still working, even when nothing seems to be changing yet. This is how God restores and deepens hope in the waiting, not by rushing the process, but by anchoring the heart so deeply in Him that hope no longer depends on speed, signs, or certainty. Hope remains, and that is enough. God, we come before You, aware of how waiting has stretched our hearts. You see the moments when hope felt strong and the moments when it felt tired. You know how easy it is to grow discouraged when answers take time. Today, we bring our waiting honestly into Your presence. We ask You to strengthen hope where it feels fragile. Teach us how to wait without losing trust. Help us remain faithful even when progress feels slow. Remind us that You are working, even when we cannot see it. God, quiet our anxious thoughts and restore peace within us. Replace discouragement with endurance and fear with confidence in Your faithfulness. Help us trust Your timing and rest in Your care. We place this season of waiting into Your hands. We believe that you are faithful and that you will sustain us as we continue to trust you. Amen. As we end this episode, remember this. Waiting does not mean nothing is happening. Hope does not have to feel strong to remain alive. Even quiet hope is real hope. Continue trusting God, one day at a time. Let hope stay rooted in His faithfulness rather than in outcomes. God is near, and He is working, even in the waiting. May your heart remain steady, may your hope remain alive, and may you continue waiting with trust.